Alright, so first up we're going to go over our crew. Here is our heroic ranger Velantis. He's equipped with a sword, light armor, a gun and an ammo pouch, which for rules is a bow and a quiver. He's also got some rope. For skills he has dash, parry, steady aim and focus, and he also knows the smoke spell. For stat increases, I gave him +1 fight, +1 shoot, and +1 movement. Alright, next up we have our resilient knight Talika, with a spear and a heavy shield there. Over here we have the savage Rajay, who's a swordsman with his twin blades. And over here, from the deep woods, we have the elvish archer Felko. And over here, another elf, Ashlyn. She's a conjurer, and she knows the armor spell and the heal spell. Alright, let's get into this battle report. Ranger Velantis and his companions have arrived at a ruined village in search of another ranger that's gone missing called Aventine. So the objective of this scenario is to find out what happened to Aventine by exploring this ruined village. We've got some points of interest in the battlefield, which I'll just go over right now. We've got to search that house there, the ruined cart next to it, this house here, these barrels, this house here, and these crates over here. Let's get into it. We also have some enemies already present on the board. A rat here, skeleton over here, skeleton over here, another little rat there by that house, skeleton here, and finally, hiding behind this house, another skeleton. Before we get too far into this battle report, I would like to point out a few rules mistakes I made. The first one is that in the ranger phase, I do activate more than 2 models a few times. The other one is a targeting issue. At the start of the battle report, the model with the highest health was targeted instead of the model with the lowest health. I don't really think these mistakes would have changed the outcome too much, but I thought I'd just point them out here anyway. I'd also like to say that this is the first battle report I've done. It's not perfect and there's a lot of room for improvement, so please overlook any roughness. And if you have any suggestions, you can drop us a line in the comments below. Enjoy the video. Ranger phase. Velantis will activate with all of his companions. First, Talika will move towards the rat at the top, and Rajay will move down towards the rat at the bottom. Velantis will reposition and take aim at the skeleton on the left. Ashlyn will move back here in preparation to cast a spell. Felko will stay put and take aim at the skeleton on the right. Second actions now. Felko will take a shot at the skeleton over here. Unfortunately that misses. Velantis will take a shot at the skeleton over here. That misses also. We're not having much luck with these rolls so far. Ashlyn will then cast armor on Talika. And finally, Rajay will engage the rat at the bottom, and Talika will engage the rat at the top. Overview of the battlefield as we go into monster phase, turn 1. The rat engaging Talika attacks Talika. Talika, however, is too strong and skewers it. That's a dead rat. Bye bye rat. On to Rajay now. His rat attacks. It's a very close fight, with Rajay just winning by 1 point. However, that is enough to destroy the rat. Now onto the skeletons. First skeleton moves up once and again to engage Talika. Second skeleton moves up once and then again, closing in on Felko. Third skeleton moves up to the wall, jumps the wall, and engages Rajay. And the fourth skeleton moves up once, and then again, closing in on Velantis. Now onto the event phase for turn 1, we flip the red 9. Filthy rats have brought the disease. Any figure that is reduced to 0 health during this scenario must make a health roll, target number 16, or suffer from disease in the next scenario. Let's just hope that none of our fighters go down. Ranger phase. We're going to have Velantis activate along with Falco. We need to do something about these skeletons in our face. Falco will take a shot at this skeleton. It's close, but Falco manages to fell the skeleton. Velantis shoots at this skeleton. It's another close roll, but that is enough to take the skeleton down. He will then move down to support Ray J. And Falco will move closer to this clue marker. Onto the monster phase. The skeleton here is going to attack Velantis. Ooh, that's a good roll from the skeleton. Velantis is going to use his once per game parry ability to avoid taking 10 points of damage. Ray J now against the skeleton. Even with the support from Velantis, the skeleton will defeat Ray J and he'll take 2 points of damage. Could have been worse. Now over Talika and this skeleton. With that roll, Talika easily crushes the skeleton, destroying it. Onto the companion phase now. Talika will turn, try and bash that door down. She's looking for an 8 with +2. That's a success. So that door is smashed down. She's now going to move in and investigate that clue token. Sweet! With that 18, it's a treasure. Talika's found something cool. Ooh, shiny. I wonder what it is. Now we're just left with Ashlyn. Now she's going to turn around, move up once, and then again, make her way over to the clue token in the corner. I really don't like sending Ashlyn off alone because she's not particularly adept in combat. Let's just hope we don't have any skeletons spawning close to us. Alright, so that just leaves us with the event phase for turn 2, and we flip a red 3, which means more skeletons. One's going to appear down here at the bottom, and the other on the right hand side. First thing to do is use our once per game focus attack to try and take out the skeleton. With that roll, we managed to do it, destroying that skeleton. And with his second action, you're going to hop over this wall and engage your skeleton down here. Onto the monster phase. The skeleton here is going to attack Velantis. With that roll, Velantis easily dispatches that skeleton. Back to the grave with you, fiend. The skeleton over here by the house will move up once, and then again, engaging Falco. That's not exactly what we want. Let's see if Falco can defend himself. Companion phase, we're going to start with Talika. She's going to pick up the shiny treasure, and then move out of the house to support Falco next turn. It's time for Falco to test his mettle against this skeleton. And he's done it. What a champion. Ray J could learn a few lessons from Falco, it seems. After dispatching that skeleton, Falco's going to move to investigate this clue marker. So we find the body of Aventine. Unfortunately, he's dead. But, upon investigation, we find his magical sword. Now it's Ashlyn. Ashlyn's going to move towards these crates and investigate the clue. Mutilated body. She discovers a body with strange poison bite marks. We need to make a survival roll. Looking for a 6. Success! She determines their nature, which will grant us 6 XP at the end of the battle. You're so smart, Ashlyn. For a second action, she's going to move back towards her friends. Now let's just hope you don't get ambushed. Over to Ray J, who's going to attempt to bash down this door. That will fail. He tries again. That will succeed. Now we're ready to investigate the house next turn. Event phase, turn 3. We flip the red ace. Ugh, that is not good. 4 more skeletons. One's going to be placed right here in front of Velantis. One here next to the house. Another at the top next to that house. And unfortunately, one over here. Nice and close to Ashlyn. Just what we didn't want. Ranger phase. Velantis will activate. He's going to take a shot at the skeleton. That's not going to do it. Now he's going to move back over the wall next to Ray J. Monster phase now. The skeleton's going to move up and engage Velantis. Ray J will snap to help out. The skeleton's going to win this combat, grazing Velantis. The skeleton by the house here moves up and engages Talika. Talika turns to face the skeleton. The skeleton will win the combat. However, Talika is heavily armoured and has the benefit of the armour spell, so that will do no damage. And now the skeleton over here is going to move once and then move again to engage Ashlyn. Poor Ashlyn, please don't die. And finally, the skeleton at the top. It's going to move once and then again, closing in on Talika. Companion phase now. Ray J's going to have a swing at the skeleton. Finally, he's done something right. The skeleton is now defeated. After that, he's going to take his second action and move into the house to investigate that clue. After rummaging through the house, Ray J found some herbs. We get to roll at the end of the scenario to see what we found. Now to Falco. He moves across to here, has a shot at this skeleton. Unfortunately, misses. Now Talika fighting this skeleton. It's a stalemate. Now over to Ashlyn. Oh, Ashlyn. Ouch. Ashlyn's going to take 6 points of damage from that. Event phase. Red 7. One randomly determined building is going to collapse. With that roll, it's a northern building. No skeletons or any members of our party are close by, so this has no effect. That's lucky. We're going to activate Velantis. I did think about moving twice to help Ashlyn, but we didn't have quite enough movement to make it into combat. So instead, we'd just move up once and have a shot at this skeleton. But we missed. We will be in a good position to help her out next turn, providing she survives. Monster phase. Speaking of Ashlyn, let's see how she does. Nasty. That's another 4 points of damage to Ashlyn. She's hanging on by a thread. Now, this skeleton foolishly decides to attack Talika. Talika crushes it with disdain and turns on his friend. The other skeleton here, without fear, shambles in and attacks Talika. The scores are different, which means both parties take damage. Talika's armor and her protection spell prevent any damage. However, that skeleton is dead. Talika getting some serious work done. Back to Ray J. Oh, Ray J. He needs to get relevant again. Moves out of the house once, and then again, to help out next turn. Talika, she moves up once, and again, to investigate this house next turn. Don't forget your treasure. Now to Falco. He moves up once, and again, to a position where he can help out next turn. Event phase. And that's a red 6, which means filthy, diseased rats. We got to spawn 2 rats next to 2 randomly determined buildings, which means 1 little rat down here, and another rat over here. How annoying. Ranger phase. Velantis activates. Hearing the cries of help from Ashlyn, he moves once, and then moves again, to engage that skeleton. You just need to survive 1 more turn, Ashlyn. I know you can do it. Now over to the filthy rats. First rat here down near Ray J is going to move up once and then again to engage. This other rat here is going to come around the corner, moving up once and again, closing in on Talika. Okay, so I made another mistake here. For some reason I activated the rats twice. But what you going to do? They're just hungry, you know? They need fresh meat. So this rat here is going to move up behind Talika, who's going to turn and attack. With that roll, Talika's going to lose the combat. However, she's chunky and she's got a lot of armor, so it doesn't do any damage. Now to this second rat, who viciously attacks Ray J. Ray J spins and slices it in 2. He's definitely good at killing rats. Companion phase. Now over to this melee to find out the fate of Ashlyn. He wins the combat with that roll, but doesn't do any damage to the skeleton. This rat here attacks Talika. Ouch! This rat is a rabid beast. Talika's going to take a lot of damage. Falco's up. He's going to move across to the door, try and pick the lock. 17, that's going to succeed. Ray J's going to move up once, and again, and join this melee. It looks like Ashlyn might get out of this one alive after all. Bravely, Ashlyn decides to attack the skeleton. It's enough to win, but the skeleton takes no damage. Event phase. Red 5, place one giant rat as near to a hero as it can get while still being in contact with the building. Odds Talika, evens Falco. This rat just scurries out of the house and engages Falco. Ranger phase. Velantis is going to try and take this skeleton. Finally we kill that skeleton. Hung around for so long. It was a good roll from the skeleton, but way too much support for the ranger. Now he's freed up and can move across to help out Falco. Monster phase now. It's the rats. This rat versus Talika. With that roll, it's a squished rat. Okay, so this rat on Falco. And that's a critical. That is overkill. Our rat is very dead. Companion phase. It's Talika's turn now. She's going to move in and investigate this house. 7. Strange tracks. Unfortunately, Talika could not decipher the strange tracks, so that is not going to give us any experience points at the end of the mission. On the bright side, we didn't spawn any monsters. Over to Ashlyn. She's going to move over here. For a second action, he's going to cast Heal on Talika. Over to Ray J now. And he's going to move up once, and then again to here. Now Falco, he's just going to move through here and stay put. He's got one more clue token to check, which is just there. Event phase. We flipped the red 2. Oh no, it's more skeletons. 2 more skeletons are going to spawn. One skeleton's going to spawn here by this house, and another one up there by that house. Of course they spawn nice and close to us. Ranger phase. Velantis is going to activate along with Ray J, Talika and Ashlyn. Ray J is going to move first up to here, followed by Velantis up to here, then Talika around to here. Don't forget your treasure. And Ashlyn to here. For his second action, Velantis is going to shoot this skeleton, and that's enough to take it out. For Talika's second action, she's going to move over to here and investigate this clue. And Ray J is going to move up here behind this wall in a defensive position. Let's roll for the clue. 20! So a skeleton's going to burst up out of the ground and engage Talika. Monster phase. So we lost the roll here. The skeleton did attack Talika. It won the combat, but it didn't do any damage. This skeleton's going to move up once, and again, closing in on Falco. So in the companion phase, we've just got Falco to act. He's going to take a shot at the skeleton, which misses, and then back up. Ranger phase. Velantis activates along with Falco and Ray J. Velantis moves into combat with this skeleton, followed by Falco, and Ray J moves to help out Talika. Velantis is going to attack this skeleton. Ooh, that's a bad roll. 11 points of damage. These skeletons can be deadly. See if Falco can do any better. Oof, that's also really bad. This skeleton's a beast. That's a vicious amount of damage. However, Falco, unharmed up to this point, is still alive. Now over to Ray J. He's looking to prove he's not just good at killing rats. And that's a dead skeleton. Well done, Ray J. On to the monster phase. This last skeleton is going to try and finish off Falco. But this is Falco. And the skeleton is the one that perishes. After that, there's not really a lot to do. Talika's going to take her treasure and walk up here. Ashland's going to join the crowd to here, followed by Ray J, who's going to move up to here. We are victorious. There was quite a few close calls, but we did, in the end, manage to succeed with none of our fighters going out. All in all, pretty good first showing for Velantis and his companions. Now we're going to get to the good stuff and roll up some treasures and some herbs. This is on the treasure table to see what kind of treasure. So 15, that is weapons and armour. Very nice. So now weapons and armour table to see exactly what we got. 11. Light armour of brightness. On the herbs table to see what Ray J found. 1. Dremlock weed. So I did forget to do a health roll for Talika when she got wounded by that rat to see if she got diseased. So let's just do that now. And it's a current health roll, so an 18 is going to succeed, so there's no worries there. Now for a quick wrap up. We're going to give the armour of brightness to Velantis. That's going to give him +5 against shooting attacks. The Dremlock weed's going to go to Falco. We can use that as a grenade later, which is pretty sweet. Overall from that scenario we made 93 experience points, which wasn't quite enough to go up a level. But that's fine, we'll make those experience points up in the next scenario. Speaking of the next scenario, that's going to be infected trees. I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!